Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just at home chilling, and I decided like I should talk about something because I'm alone. There's no one who's going to distract me like the way kids at home, as you know, to be a parent is very hard in Europe. No one to help you. But now before my daughter comes back home, I felt like I should talk a little bit how my mom passed away, how I knew, sorry, not how she passed away, I was not there. So how I knew that my mom, she's no longer there. So I used to school at Kinale. It was a normal Monday, I think it was a Monday, I don't remember nicely. No, those bad memories are not to be kept, so I don't really remember nicely. Those are not the memories to keep. So a teacher came and no, the principal came at the door, and then they at the door of our classroom. I don't remember which language. I think it was English. Then they talked to the teacher. She called the teacher. The teacher went to the door. They talked. We never knew what they talked. And then the principal went. And then when he went, then the teacher came back to the class. And then the English teacher told me that the principal needs you at his classroom. No, at his office. So I'm taking coffee. It's really cold outside. So I went, and as I went to the office, I never thought that is a bad news or anything. I just thought that maybe they needed to do some like it's called what, inspection, because I was the dorm captain by then. So I never had a bad thought about everything. So I went, and I was told that, oh, do you see these papers? You're supposed to take them to your mom, because most of my high school, as you people, I told you, I went to the bursary school. Yeah. I was being paid by school bursary. They used to help me, because I told you my mom was having difficulties in paying a little bit. At that time she had tough time. Her business was not working nicely. So the school used to help me sometimes with bursary, because by then I had applied. So I went, and then he told me I had to take those papers to be signed. But I was like, I don't need to take them to be signed. She can be told. My aunt can send them here. But the principal insisted your mom has to send them. So I just went home as a normal as a normal as a normal kid, that when you are in a boarding school and told that you're going home to do something, you get excited. But for me, sometimes it wasn't exciting, because where was I going to? Because it wasn't my mom's home, I was going to my auntie's home. And even if I was going to my auntie's home, I knew that she could not let me sit there more than a week. She could just tell me come back, to go back to school. So those are the things they forced me to just stay at school. But I used to be excited sometimes to go home, because I can have those well-cooked food, because at school food was not like that nice. It was like boiled. It wasn't tastier. The aroma wasn't nice. I really like enjoyed only food during the meat time because I was a captain. I could hide meat down below the plate, and then up I put uganyo, the ugali, and then I put the cabbages. That's what we ate a lot at school by then, because where I used to school was Kinale, and they used to sell a lot of veggies, and veggies, let's say like cabbage and kales. So I went back to my auntie's home. When I went home, I met my cousin my cousin was asking me so many questions, and then I was like, they've told me that I'm supposed to go and send the bursary. My mom's supposed to go and send the bursary. But my cousin was looking at me like in a weird way, but I did not sense by then because I never knew there was something. So as we were living to the city, my aunt was very like interrogative and asking me so many questions about my mom. Did I leave her well? Did I saw her? Yeah. Well, she's not sick. What did she tell you? Yeah, she used to just ask me, how did it go with your dad? Because me, I never told my mom, and up to when she died, what happened when I went to my dad. Never. I never told her. So I told my auntie there was nothing. She was okay. I never knew why she was interrogating me so much. And then as we were in the city, it was funny because my aunt has never been so nice that like the way she was nice. So she told me, Esther, we're going to go to this Naivas and buy some stuff that you don't have when you reach there. When we reach in the supermarket as normal way, I thought that my aunt is going to just buy me yogurt and maybe some biscuits and some little snacks to eat on the way. So when we went there, she started telling me that pick oil. I told her, I was surprised. Why are you telling me to pick lotion and my mom is back at home, I can use her lotion? But you know, I was just like assuming everything. So by the time it came to alight the bus, to board the bus, I was just there. She was not leaving. I was like, oh, my aunt is like so nice today. So I sat there, sitting there, and then I sat on the seat of the bus. I used to travel with Mash most of the time. So when I sat there, and then let me not lie you, the first thing I said, because Mash they had TVs on their buses, the first thing I sat and just looked at, it was the screen of the TV on the bus. Do you know what I saw on the screen? The sad face of my mom crying. But I just assumed, I just said, maybe I'm overthinking. So I just assumed. So the journey began to Mtito. I won't talk a lot. Mtito to Mombasa. I alighted safely. After I alighted, I took a matatu from Mombasa GPO till Mtwapa, and then my stop was to alight till Shanzu Water. So I alighted at Shanzu at Water. So when I alighted at Water, everybody was looking at me. Other people are telling me sorry, but then I didn't understand. I just thought that people are telling me sorry because I've taken a long journey from Nairobi to Mombasa. But on the way, when I was going home, I was like, now my mom will be very angry because will she afford money to send me back to school? And already this money, I'll come back and I'm supposed to go back. Those are the things that I used to think. I used to, my mom had made me like my mind to always think about her, that she doesn't have money. So anything that I used to do that time, that's the reason why I tell you that I grew up, I matured very early stage. At an early stage, sorry. So I reached, and then I went the back of my mom's house. Now I had like noises. You know that there are many people around, and then they had this sad music. Even before they told me, because my cousins were coming there, like going round, and then they were like hugging me, and it was unusual. So I just knew there is something. So when I went to the front of my mom's house, I saw benches. I just knew my mom is no longer there. I just could tell there's something. So I just went in. No, I did not go in. The first thing I just dropped my bag, they took it. I ran to my mom's neighbor, friend, like she's my mom, she's called Mayo, and I ran to her and I started crying and I asked her a lot of questions. Where were you? I just felt like she knew everything. I felt like maybe she couldn't tell me because they never wanted. Because let me tell you the reason why I felt all this negativity with my mom's family, because they were never nice to my mom when she was alive, but now she's dead. Everyone, even the people who hated her so most, they're just there in the house, they're everywhere, they're free at my mom's house. And the people who were never like supportive to my mom when she was breathing, okay, I never like, it was their sisters, so I never like had a lot of stuff to like dwell, but I never wanted to go back to my mom's house. I just ran to Mayo, our neighbor, and started crying. And she, you know, when she saw me, I started crying and asking her so many questions. I asked her, Mayo, what happened to mom? Where were you? Why you didn't call me? You know, that was the only person that I could trust, that she could never like hide anything from me. So Mayo told me, don't worry, Wanjiro, I'm gonna take care of you. And then I looked for my friend, toddler friend called Charlotte, daughter to Mayo, and when she saw me, she started just crying. I cried. I told them, now where will I go? I was just worried now. Who will I turn to? Because already my mind was like my dad that never wants me. And I was like, where I was living with my aunt, I was like not feeling that I could live there. The reason why she was tough, and I felt like she never loved. You know, when a child is living in another person's house, you don't feel the love. You just feel like you want to be at your house, at your home. So my auntie followed me, and when she followed me, I just shouted and said, you people, you know what you did to my mom. That's what came to my mind. I was very angry. The reason why I said all this stuff is because they never treated my mom nicely. They were never polite to her, and it was all over me, and I couldn't even take it anymore. I said, I will tell them. I never, that time, you know, when you're angry, you never think of what is coming out of your mouth. So I told them that they know whatever they did to my mom. I was very angry, and I never wanted to see them. So when I stayed at Mayo's place asking her so many questions, my friend Charlotte came, we cried together, and then they told me, okay, now I went back to my mom's house. I started looking people. I never wanted anyone to talk to me. I was very disappointed. I asked them, when did my mom die? I asked them, why didn't you call me when she was in the hospital? You are calling me when she's at the mortuary. Those are the things that they really like affected me up to now. And I was like telling them, now you're calling me when she's dead. Will she even talk to me and tell me what is wrong, or what she would want me to be, or what she wished me to live like? You're calling me when she's dead. So it was a lot of emotion. So that's how I'm gonna end up this video, because it's really like emotional. I never wanted to talk a lot. I just wanted to give you a bite of how I knew. It's like more than 2003 up to now. You can just imagine, it's long, but it's still always fresh. It's like today when I start talking, and I'm like always getting emotions, because these are the things that makes me fear if today I'm gonna die without my kids growing up. So I always tend to be kind and nice to them, and give them whatever they want, and show them all the things I would love. I always tell them they should love each other. They should, all the things that I always want them to do. Well, wherever, if anything is going to happen to me, I always show them now, because my mom never told me anything about my dad. About my mom hid a lot of things. And even when the sisters used to fight her, you could hear her complaining to her friends, but she never told me, and I could see her. But there was a time that one day she was very angry, I don't know, and then she was like, I was like talking to her about the grandmother. I missed going to the grandmother's home, and she was like disappointed with my grandmother, because one day she bought this great cow for milking, and she sold without her notice, and they squandered all the money without even her knowing. So My mom was very angry with my grandmother, so she never wanted, and she was like talking so from her heart, and she was saying, if anything will happen, I will never want anything that belongs to me, be someone from my family take. And then I was like, because you're an innocent child, you ask your mom so many questions. You know, for me, I loved my mom's family. I thought that my mom, you never loved them. But later, as I was growing, I could see everything they used to do to her, or they used to tell her. And most of the time, these people, they always tend to think, oh, this Esther, she's small. No, I used to understand everything. And uh, nowadays kids, 80s kids are like digital kids, and the more we're giving back, like now my kids are more like alert. Anything that you people, you like family, you do to children, or you do to people, kids, they see. And even if they don't tell you, let me not lie to you, they see. Me, I used to see a lot of stuff, the way my auntie used to treat my mom and abuse her, and she was just living behind her there. And my mom could not even shift, because she had bought the house was hers. But my auntie, because I was wondering, later of time, I was wondering, this my aunt never got along with my mom, but why she couldn't even move from around where my mom used to live? Because my mom was having a house, and her house was rental. She could have moved and go somewhere else where she felt like she never wants to see my mom. But no, she was there, those people who just want problems with my mom, because my mom never talked. She just came to the shop bringing problems to her, you know all those kind of problems that you people can just imagine. So it wasn't easy for me growing, seeing my mom struggle, the way the family used to treat her, mistreat her, and talk about her, and disrespect her, despite of all the things she'd been doing. My mom even educated her, the last sister, up with all the books that I studied with high school. I used the dictionary Kamusi, my auntie's books. She never bought me new books, but my auntie was bought new books. But imagine when my mom died, and when I left her at my mom's shop, she squandered everything, and she said, oh, it wasn't her. There are people who are owning my mom, that she was paying back the loans. A lot of shit that she told me, that even if you add them, 1 plus 1, they are not coming together. But I just kept quiet. Who was I? Because everyone, when my mom died, was taking advantage of me in his own way. The people who took advantage of me, I'm not saying everyone. So that's what I will say. I don't want to talk more, but that's how I knew that my mom, because she passed away. I just noticed myself. They never told me anything just from school. And then the way I went back to home, I went back home to my mom, my mom's house. The house was already expectioned. They did inspection, that one they were looking for, I don't know, pictures, but they couldn't see. But when I went, just the entrance of my mom's bedroom, I just saw at the somewhere that she always put the album. I just saw the album. That was the first thing that I saw, and inside there were 5,000. So I just took the 5,000, and then I gave out the album, because I never wanted even to talk to them. If anyone, I don't like lying. They can just say, and they always just try to like create a lot of things, and they talk bad about stuff. But themselves, they never treated my mom right, and they were never friends with my mom. And my mom was very polite with them, but the only thing that my mom never wanted is the way they had taken advantage of her, and it was enough. And now she wanted to take charge of her life, because they always just wanted to come to be with my mom and squander just her stuff and not helping her. My mom had a big shop. They squandered everything. Families are not people to just let them inside your circle. When you are doing your stuff, do your stuff. When they are far away, and then when you're successful, they can see your success, and then they can just say, oh, Esther is ours. But they will never there to help you to build your empire. No, they always want them them to be up top there. But don't play with God. God always work in his own way. So I can say my aunties, the way they use, my one auntie used to tell my mom, oh, she's never going to finish school. I finished my high school, I went to college, I came to Europe, I struggled, and I used to live. I was married in Kenya. We separated, and then problems started from there, and then I decided to look an alternative. So a lot. I want to thank you all for tuning in and turning this button and trying to look at me, watch me and listen to my story. That's the story of today. And I be blessed, everyone. Please subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment, and show me some love. Life is not easy. Let me not lie to you. It's not easy, you people. Thank you so much and welcome. Look at my cup. Bye.